And God makes this declaration of a promise that he had made through the mouth of Jeremiah. It talks about the faithfulness of his promise. God has made promises for the believer. He's made promises for us to hold dear to, even in times like this. I was just talking to Pastor Richard, and we was talking about, man, these times are serious. People are finding themselves in situations where there's fear involved, where there's vulnerability involved. And we must remind ourselves that God is sovereign. And because of his sovereignty, because he's sovereign, the promises that he makes are sure. See, you can't make a promise if you're not sovereign, because you don't know if it's actually going to come through or not. But God, who is sovereign, he can make a promise because he controls all things. He governs all things. So if I know that I belong to God and he has made promises for the believer, then I can rest assured, despite the situation, despite the circumstance. See, I need to take you all back there, because they were exiles into a foreign land. They lost their liberty and their religious rights. They lost the freedom that they had. All they had to hold on was a promise. But some who held on to that promise died holding on to that promise. And so they passed it on to their children and their faith, in which they held on to that promise. And their children's children, in which they held on to that promise. And then God shows up through Cyrus. Babylon had fallen. The Persians had taken over. They're under the government of Babylon, and now the Persians had taken over. And their promise had arrived.